Hi, I'm Dave.
And I'm Becky, and we're parents to two little kids. Parenting isn't always easy. There are ups and downs, good days and bad days, days with way too much TV, and days with lots of laughter. Moments where you just feel overwhelmed, and moments where you've never felt more proud.
At the end of the day, parenting is super rewarding, but also super hard. This podcast is for all the parents out there who feel like they have no idea what they're doing, because we're right there with you. This is the Spillproof podcast. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Spillproof podcast. I'm Dave.
And I'm Becky.
And today we're going to be talking about regrets.
Yes, our regrets we've had as parents thus far.
Yes. I'm sure there's going to be many, many more. We are only, 2.5 years in having kids?
Yes.
So
these are just our main regrets in 2.5 years.
Yeah. There's many more years of regrets. So
yes,
we just thought it'd be fun to put a little of them on paper or podcast and see if anybody else has stuff that they regret. Because I know we do.
Yeah. One thing we don't regret is having kids.
No, never.
No.
Kids are the best thing that we've ever done.
For sure. I just knocked my whole setup. Okay, we're good.
It's all that Italian in you moving your hands.
I moved my hand once. And I did hit everything.
Yeah. It's that Italian hand talking.
Whatever.
Tie him down.
All right, I'm looking at my list. I'm trying to figure out which one I want to do first.
Well, so are we going to least to most worst or just a random assortment of...
I don't know. That's what I was thinking of.
Because mine are in no order.
Mine are in no order either.
All right, let's just start shooting them off then. Because
Okay.
I know you have more than I do, but I'm sure I'm going to think up of some along the way. And probably.
I think we're going to overlap. Maybe. I don't know. Last time we thought we were going to overlap on the products, and we really only overlapped on one.
Well, this time I learned from that top 5 that we did, and I have them on my computer facing me so Becky can't see anything that I wrote.
I can't cheat this time. I
No.
cheated a little bit. I mean, not that I cheated, but I saw them.
You peeked.
And I was like, oh, we're only overlapping one. That's interesting.
It was interesting.
It was. I just knew it was interesting before everyone else.
Spoiler alert.
But just for me.
Yeah.
I'm not like giving away MCU secrets here.
No.
I'd be fined if I did that.
Cease and desist. All right. So, you want to go first or you want me to?
I'll go first.
All right.
The first one I wrote on my list is obsessing over and ate his schedule, his bottles, and then I wrote mostly his bottles. But I when I say obsessed, it was like a daily thing that I was Googling, like what typical schedules were, what typical things were that kids ate, like was he eating every day. It was like he's getting too much milk, he's not getting enough milk, he should start solids, he shouldn't start solids, he's taking his nap too early, he's taking too many naps, not enough naps. Like I really, really dove way too deep into like researching what like typical schedules should be instead of just letting him tell me.
But you know what? That actually made it very predictable. So it was maybe not a great thing or a fun thing, but he was so regimented because he's such a creature of habit. And we wouldn't have known that when he was that little. But I mean, he ate like every 3 hours, like on the nose.
But did he eat every 3 hours because I was obsessed with his schedule or because he wanted to eat every 3 hours?
Well, I mean, now he just grazes all day, so I don't know.
He does.
But I think that it was really good for us as first-time parents to have that regimented schedule, to be on that schedule, and not have it deviate too much, because it kind of made things a little simpler. Even though it was like a lot of stress and a lot of worry and thought that went into it, it was great. By comparison, Emily is all over the place, but she has a great appetite, so I don't know.
Yeah, with her, I let her kind of dictate her schedule more, and I think I'm fine. Like I'm stressing less with her about like, okay, she didn't finish this bottle. Like if
Well,
Owen
and
didn't,
you're not pumping.
no, but even like with Owen, after he was off breast milk and was on formula, I would be like, he didn't finish an ounce, and I would freak out about it for like 3 hours. And then with Emily, I'm like, she didn't finish an ounce and a half, whatever, moving on. But I think to your, like, for you, you really liked that, like, he was on a schedule. You knew when he had to eat.
Mm-hmm.
We had it up on, like, a whiteboard. It was really easy for, like, anyone who was coming over to watch him. Like, we knew exactly when he was going to eat, what he needed. But it was, for me, it wasn't, like, the regimented schedule that was the issue, but it was, like, me comparing every day his schedule to what I was finding on the internet, which like may be a real source or may not be like a valid source. And I was comparing like him to this like mystical perfect baby on the internet.
Well, and this also was around the time when that whole
The metals in the baby food.
the metals in the
what you're
baby
thinking
food
of?
had come out.
Yeah.
And that was like a whole nother thing. Like you couldn't do root vegetables, or you couldn't do really any vegetables at all, or ground vegetables, potatoes, because all of them had some traces of metal in them that was higher than what the FAD or
What it was supposed to be.
yeah. And I don't know what happened with that, because I think they changed what the appropriate levels were, and it wasn't like it was toxic or anything like that. It just, the ground has natural metals in it, and the baby food, the soil just has it. Like even if it was farmed in a potted plant, that soil would have metals in it. It's just natural.
Yeah, I think they still have like too much metals in it. We just haven't stressed about it as much this time with the
I actually
baby
forgot
food.
about it until just now.
The Googling. I regret the Googling too much.
Google is not your friend as a parent.
No, especially when you're like awake in the middle of the night and you're like, how much should a 2-month-old eat, or how much should like a 6-month-old eat? And then you're like, what? My kid's off by 2 ounces and now the world is collapsing.
Yeah, that definitely was tough.
I got into like a hole with that. And that's, I regret, I guess my regret is allowing myself to like go that deep into
The spiral.
Yeah, to spiral that much. And with this time with Emily, I haven't.
No,
And
you've done great.
It's been
You've done great.
much more enjoyable on that front.
Mm-hmm. I agree, 100%.
Right. That's my first regret as a parent.
I feel like you went really deep on this.
That's my deepest one, I promise.
Oh, okay.
It's
I was
just-
going to say,
It's the first one I wrote down.
mine are like not even close.
No, the rest will be more.
Okay. I was gonna say, geez, I need to rewrite one or add one.
You need to get more. You need to get on my level.
Yeah.
Google some crap and
I
get
don't-
on my level.
I don't Google stuff like that. So one of mine was a bedtime routine. Somehow our bedtime routine went from maybe a 10-minute routine, and this is when Owen was just a single kid,
Mm-hmm.
to an hour-long event.
Yeah.
And I don't understand how it happened. It started out with, I was the one who put him down most nights. So we would
But it would start like before that. Like we would do our
yeah, that's true. That's true.
bottle, book,
Yep.
brush.
Yep.
And then bed.
That's correct. Yeah. So we and that's still fairly consistent.
Mhm.
But the bed part was like,
Is
we
now
said goodnight to
45
his-
minutes.
yeah, we'd say goodnight to his Harry Potter pictures on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
We'd say goodnight to his little Niffy. And then I want to say we would just do 1, 2, 3 and then plop him into the bed.
Yeah, like maybe cuddle for a second,
Yeah.
give him some hugs, and then
Yeah.
you laid him down.
And that was in his nursery, and that was for a really long time. And when he was in our room in the bassinet, it was a little bit different too. It was more of, we'd put him down and then we'd kind of sit with him and kind of
Mhm.
make sure he fell
Until
asleep.
he fell asleep, yeah.
But I feel like that all babies, that's not really routine as much as just trying to get him to fall asleep.
Yeah.
And then when he moved to his big boy room, I was still putting him down at that point for the most part. And we would do a thing where, I'm trying to even remember, he'd sit on my lap. We'd say goodnight to his guys. We'd say goodnight to his guys.
And when we say his guys, we mean the 9 stuffed animals that he now sleeps with.
Yeah, that wasn't even a thing. It was just his 2 Lovey's Mochis, the Mochis. And so we would say goodnight to the wall pictures, the Niffler. You would be in there, but you'd go. And then we'd just sit on his little chair and talk for a little bit and then put him down. I mean, maybe it was 12 minutes most. And somehow it just like exploded into this.
Yeah, like all of a sudden you would put him down. Like I would put Emmy down because you would take care of Owen because I would like breastfeed Emily before bed.
Right.
And it went from like we would come down at the same time to like I would start washing bottles and cleaning up the kitchen and I'd be like, where the heck is Dave? Like, is he still? And I would hear giggling from upstairs. I would hear you guys like just like having fun. And I was like, oh, that's cute. But then I was like,
it got out of hand
awake.
Really fast. Really fast it got out of hand. And even there was a time where like it was modified into hiding in the closet or we'd...
Oh, gosh, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Like he, at one point, he wanted you included in it.
Well, and then
that just
I
made it even
felt
longer.
left out at one point and was like, I want to start coming in and doing bedtime with you guys because I was just doing like hand washing bottles and stuff and you guys were giggling above my head. So I was like, I'm going to come in and start doing bedtime with you after I put Emmy down.
And now we both do it. So I put him down initially, we go into his room, and then you put Emily down and you come and join us. And that's like the new routine.
Yeah.
But the beginning of it's the same, but then there's like, sometimes there's cars involved. Sometimes it's just a
like
thing.
Sometimes we read his little Bible. Sometimes you're right. He plays with his cars. Sometimes he plays with this little like farm thing.
Yep.
Today he was like pretending to blow us over with a leaf blower.
A kid's leaf blower.
A kid's leaf blower. I really had him giggling today.
You had him belly chuckling.
Like he was laughing so hard, he was like silently laughing.
That was really cute. But then, yeah, so he's got his 9 guys that we have to like, we put him down now, and his two lovies are called Mochi, and they're little jelly cat owls, and they're awesome. And I put one into one arm, one in the other, and I pretend to find another one and that tickle him until he can breathe enough to say that there's no third one. There's just 2. And then we say goodnight to all of them, and then I tickle him again before the last one, and he has to be able to say the last one before I stop, and it's a whole thing.
Yeah, and then you say goodnight to him, and then I give him backup passies.
Yep.
And then kiss him goodnight, and we go to and we walk out. But it's become... Like we start bedtime at 7 now with like bottles, getting them in jammies, getting like nighttime.
Tonight we started
diapers on.
by 7.
Yeah. Yep. And I think we went up around 7:30, 7:35.
Sounds right.
And Emmy was down by probably like 7:40, 7:45. Because now Owen likes to come into her room and say goodnight to her first. So we all start in Emmy's room. And then I put Emmy down, and then I join the boys.
Yep.
And I think when we got downstairs, it was like 8:05.
It was definitely after 8 when we came down.
Yeah. We used to have Owen down by like 7:15 every night. Like we'd start at 7, and by 7:15, he was like laying in his bed.
We took it for granted.
We did.
So that is definitely I mean, I love the time, and I love that it's a time when we get to bond, especially with my hours I work right now. Like, I want to spend all the time I can with them, and that extra hour is a time that it's like one-on-one, or it's the 3 of us, and that's really awesome. But at the same time, it's like he just needs to go to bed.
Well, and he's entered a bargaining phase.
Yeah.
So everything is like, okay, buddy, we're gonna go I'll say like 1 more minute, and he'll be like, well, 7, and I'm like, well, 2, and then he'll go 10, and I'll say like 5, and he'll go, okay. And then you start those 5 minutes, And then all of a sudden he goes, 20! He's like, sometimes he's a great negotiator and sometimes he's just terrible because
he's going to be a force to
never
be reckoned
good
with
enough.
one day.
Yeah.
One day he's going to got our hands full with that one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was my
The extended bedtime routine.
yeah.
I forgot we used to hide in the closet. And then he would find it. Like, he would find us in the closet.
Remember he used to hide under the plastic wicker laundry basket?
Oh, yeah.
And he'd be fully underneath it, and you just see toes popping out.
Yeah, that was really cute.
He was little.
He was little then. All right. My next one is I just put TV down. And I have a couple of regrets related to TV.
Agreed. That's one of mine.
Okay.
It's a big topic.
It is, because sometimes I regret how much TV the kids are watching.
I feel bad about it.
And I feel super guilty. And typically when that happens, we go on like a more strict TV allowance where I'm like no more than 2 hours a day. Like, and typically it's in the morning, and then I strive every night before bed to not use TV, and sometimes I do, and sometimes I strive not to, but I try to just do it like in the morning. But like with Owen, when he was probably one, I don't know, probably from like 9 months to 1, I was like, I want as little TV as possible. And I was super, super strict about it because I thought there, like, just even in the background that there was too much TV. But then other times I regret being so strict where, again, it's like consuming my thoughts, where like I'm sitting there and he's watching something like Bluey and I'm like trying to force him to do something else or redirect him, and it's just making like everyone frustrated. So like regrets on two different levels. One is, I think sometimes like they watch too much TV sometimes, and then sometimes I'm like, just chill. I regret that I get so uptight about it. I've struggled to find that happy medium.
I don't love the amount of TV he watches. I mean, it is on the high side for sure. My bigger problem is when it's just, for lack of a better term, just garbage TV, which he doesn't watch that much of, I don't think. You know, a lot of the stuff right now is Bluey, Bob the Train, Octonauts.
Which he calls coconuts.
Which
is very cute.
We have Disney Plus, so he'll watch like zoo animals. He loves penguins.
Mm-hmm. You know what I can't handle right now?
Tractor tipping.
Cars, Toys, Movies.
Ugh.
I can't do it anymore, guys. Whoever makes Cars, Toys, Movies, I think maybe you're probably a billionaire because...
Well, there's over 1 million views.
Yeah,
There's like
you have so many
1.5
views,
million
and
views.
you're like just like racing around like Matchbox cars.
It's stop motion though, so
it's a lot of work.
That's a lot of
stop
work.
motion, so it's a lot of work. But he's obsessed with them.
Owen
and I can't watch them anymore.
Owen has, and this will segue into something else, but Owen has an obsession with the movies Cars.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few things TV wise he's obsessed with. Bluey, on occasion. Cars 1, 2, 3, all the Cars cartoons. As he puts it, Spicy Mickey, which is these little Mickey shorts.
Those like Bluey and Spicy Mickey like come and go.
They do.
But like we watch something Cars related every single day.
Yeah, he loves Frank the Combine, which he picks the most obscure things to like. So it's like 40 seconds of a scene. And then we have to rewatch those 40 seconds over again. And it's weird. He does that. He does the taco car on Cars 3.
Yeah, who's in it for
like
maybe
twice,
3 minutes?
Like,
yeah,
not even. It's like
it's like
20 seconds
for
total.
a 3 minute
split seconds.
like total segment, but like the Derby's maybe 3 minutes.
Yeah. So it's crazy. And, Puffin Rock. Puffin Rock's actually really cute.
Puffin Rock is cute.
As far as Netflix shows go, it's actually a pretty good one.
Back to the cars real quick. He's in the phase where he has to moo everything.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, the tractors, like, they scare Lightning McQueen and Mater scare the tractors, and they moo and, like, go up on their backs.
Yeah.
And then they, like, go or something.
Yeah.
And he tries to moo everything.
Yep. Everything gets tipped over.
Like, he once tried to moo Emily when she was sitting in her high chair. And I was like, no! And I got there in time. It was not a disaster, but, like, frequently I will come into a room and everything that can be knocked on its side is on its side.
Yeah, you used to be able to tell if he had been in the room because all toys, chairs, anything that could be turned upside down or on its backside was on its backside.
Yeah. It's a problem. It's a problem.
It's a problem. Outdoor chairs, doesn't matter.
I find myself, like, in public a lot saying, not everything has to moo, Owen. And I'm sure someone listening is, maybe they're a parent and they're like, oh, they're going through that phase right now. Or maybe they're like, what the heck is this lady talking about?
So, and again, this goes back to the whole, the Cars Toys movies is downright non-educational. But like something like Bluey, which is a little above his age range, I would say. And we've talked about Bluey before, I think maybe on our first episode, I want to say, just briefly. But I mean, I love watching Bluey. Bluey's a great show.
Mm-hmm.
I know you I mean, I think enjoy it.
Oh yeah, I like it. I go through phases, which I do with
Bluey got us through pandemic.
Yeah.
First season of Bluey was like all we watched in pandemic.
But there was one time when during pandemic, Owen was like the sickest he's ever been. It was not COVID, but just like a really bad virus. And we literally watched Bluey
start to finish, all 52 episodes.
Probably like 1.5 times a day.
Yeah.
Like all 50, and they're granted each episode's like 7 minutes. But I was like, and the poor thing was sick, but I was like, oh, and can we like put something else on? And I remember like also freaking out that he was watching too much TV while he was sick, to the point where like we asked the pediatrician if him watching like TV like nonstop while he was sick was a bad thing. And he was like, he's sick. Just like get through this. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, our pediatrician's great.
Like he's hurting right now, just like whatever's going to give him comfort. But I would have to keep like an iPad or something, or like my phone near me, so that I could listen to something else, like listen to a book on tape or listen to something else, because Bluey was just driving me nuts.
I don't have that problem.
No.
But, and second season is actually really, really good.
It is. It is.
And the other day, it was a great example of that.
Yeah, so last night we had dinner at my mom's house, my mom and dad's house, and my brother and his kids came, my uncle came, and we were celebrating his birthday. And there's this episode of Bluey where the youngest kid, Bingo, is in a bad mood, and the dad, Bandit, is like her bad mood embodied. So she stands on his feet and he holds her arms, and
he's got the bad mood hat.
He has this bad mood hat on, which is like a Viking hat, and he like goes around the house and like knocks things over, and they're like, Bingo, what are you doing? And she's like, I can't help it. I'm in a bad mood, because like she's stuck in the bad mood. So yesterday or last night, Owen was like, his cousins that he was playing with were, my gosh, I'm going to get their ages wrong and seem like a horrible aunt.
It's all on record.
12. Great. It's all on record. Don't get this wrong. But the oldest was 12, and then I want to say like 8. I'm going to say 8. Yeah. 7 or 8 was the youngest cousin. And Owen was like, let's play bad mood. And he picked the oldest to be the bad mood, and they chased them around, and the bad mood would occasionally catch one of them, and then they had to save whoever was caught by the bad mood, and then, keep running. And they would switch off who was the bad mood off and on, but they ran around the house like that, just giggling and playing Bad Mood for probably like a half hour. And he had so much fun.
So, I mean, there's some good things that come from TV, too. His memory is really good. Like, he memorizes certain things. Ping Fong is terrible.
I think I've said this on here before. I'm convinced Ping Fong has subliminal messaging.
I would believe that in the flashes or whatever, the bright colors, because
Yeah.
it makes him crazy.
It makes him so crazy, and I have banned it from our house. Like, we can listen to it in the car, but, like, we can only listen to it. It's a listening thing, and we'll dance to it, but, like, we are not allowed to watch
when
Ping
he
Fong in our
physically
house.
sees it, it sets him off into some crazy,
Like,
crazy
he goes
mood.
into, like, a TV coma, and then he becomes a wild man.
Especially when you turn it off.
But even while he's watching it, too, like, he just becomes a wild man. So that's banned in our house.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ping Fong.
So,
but we'll listen to you.
Yeah.
Like, he on his own, he started singing animals, 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 animals at dinner today.
Is that Super Simple Songs?
No, that's Ping Fong, I think.
Oh, is it? Oh, it is. It is
It
Ping
is.
Fong. You're right. So, it's really cute when he does that, too.
Yeah.
He does his little, like, shimmy thing.
Mm-hmm.
So part of me is like, well, that stuff is stuff that he's bringing into the real world and making it an activity, or, you know, he's using his memory to memorize it, and he's able to recall those things. So it's stimulating the brain, not in the sense of him just like zoning out and watching something play out, but it stimulates it, and he's memorizing it. He can recall the lyrics, and so.
But he's still watching too much
He's
TV.
still watching too much TV, but I feel less bad about it when it's something like that than when it's like Cars, Toys, Movies, or even Spicy Mickey.
What is it? It's Mickey Go Loco.
Mickey
but
Go
Owen
Loco on Disney
refers
Plus.
to it as Spicy Mickey.
Because the second
there's
episode,
one episode where they like eat spicy stuff. So he's always like,
Minnie
"Spicy
keeps making Mickey like a spicier and spicier thing.
Yeah.
They're cute. They're if you've seen any of the newest Mickey cartoons, they are seriously not age appropriate for
No.
kids.
He should not be watching any
No,
of
no, no,
it.
no. But Mickey Go Loco is actually okay.
No, yeah, I mean the newest one.
The newest ones are like Goofy's a zombie, Donald's dead, like Naked Mickey. He's actually seen that one and says Naked Mickey.
Yeah, he calls it, it's like they lose their clothes on the boardwalk.
Yeah, well, they
So Owen calls it Naked Mickey.
Goofy won't let Mickey and Donald come in because Mickey has no shirt, Donald has no pants or shoes, so they have to make an outfit between the two of them. It's the stupidest thing ever. And then Donald tries to pay with Mickey's credit card because he got the pants, and Goofy throws him out because it's credit card fraud.
You
or
know
something.
way too much about the details of that plot.
It stimulates my memory.
Jeez.
So
Anyways,
yeah.
TV is a constant like conversation in our house about too much, too little, and I don't know.
we don't use
again-
it as like a babysitter by any means, but it's on in the background a bit
Like
much.
a couple hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I feel like recently too, like I'm on my kick again recently about like I don't want the TV on as much. So like we have it on in the morning when we're getting ready, and then my goal is to have it off the rest of the day. Today I did turn it on. I did turn it on for a little bit while I was making dinner, and then it was hard to turn off, and he, got upset. So my goal is like just in the mornings for a little bit, and then not the rest of the day. Like I said, some days we do really great at it, and other days it's on. Or like other days we'll be like, you know what, we're going to have a picnic in the family room and put Wally on while we're having like dinner, which we set up as a picnic in the family room. So I think
Indoor
it's always
picnics.
going to be a constant, not regret, but maybe regret of like, are we doing the right thing with this?
Constant angst about it.
Yeah.
But that being said, indoor picnics, good parenting hack.
And we'll have an upcoming podcast about our favorite parenting hacks or ones that we use a lot.
Gonna add that one to the list.
Yes.
All right, what do you got?
Okay, so this one,
I forgot that you had it on your phone, and I was like, why is she on her phone
why is she
scrolling through social
scrolling
media?
through Instagram right now? No, I have my list on my phone. Okay, so this one is, well, now I have one, but initially not having like a defined hobby as a parent.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, maybe this one is a little deep too. This is the last
You're making me
deep one.
look bad.
Well,
By the way, I have a cold, which is the reason why I sound so nasally and awful.
I don't think you sound bad. I don't think you sound that nasally.
Oh. Well, I was just trying to distract from all the seriousness that you're bringing to this podcast.
My deep thoughts.
Yeah.
With Becky. Yeah, so like until like my thoughts are not coming out. I'm sorry, everyone. But I have like I've always had my hobby as like working out, or like I've always loved movies, like everything about movies, like going to them, but also like old movies and like going, like there's like a movie in the Adirondacks that's like, or a movie theater in the Adirondacks that's like an
really
older
cool
cinema that's so cool. So like I've just loved everything about like that's like romanticized about the movies and like old Hollywood and all that stuff. Anyways, that is like neither here nor there.
Kind of a tangent.
Yeah, super
but you're still
tangent.
there. Bring it back
but like in like reading, like before Audible, I used to read like real books.
So uncivilized.
I know. Real books. Hold them in my hand a lot more. And then with Audible, like I would listen to like books all the time. And I just really loved like reading. But then when I became...
And podcasts.
I actually like before kids didn't really listen to podcasts. I didn't. Oh, Dave just gave me a look like, I can't believe you just said that. But I didn't really before kids listen to podcasts. It's something that I've like picked up since being a parent.
Hence why we have a parenting podcast.
Yes. But once I became a parent, like working out was harder, like finding time to work out was harder, like finding time for this stuff that I used to do before kids was just like a little bit harder. Even things like grabbing a drink, like happy hours, was just a little bit harder. And I didn't have like a defined hobby as a parent. And I remember like sitting on the couch that we are now talking with Dave, being like we were brainstorming hobbies for me.
We were.
And I just felt like I felt like I was turning them all down because I just wasn't like, I probably wasn't in like the mood or the mindset to like do this. And like, I've been trying to get back into working out more. I actually like got back on Audible for the first time in a while. And like,
we had so many credits.
Yeah. I got a bunch of books and there was a 2-for-1 sale. So I got a bunch of books and like, I'm about to finish my first book in a while. So I'm getting back into like my hobbies, but also starting a podcast with you has now become like a really, really fun hobby that we have together.
Definitely.
That has just helped. And like, yeah, we're talking about our kids, but it's almost helped separate my mom life with my Becky life. Like they're one and the same, but like it's helped me. I don't know. I feel like I was almost like putting all my eggs in the mom basket to the point where I think it was hurting my kids, my husband, like just me overall. Where like I can be more than just a mom and that's totally fine.
Yeah. No, I totally get that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that I felt hurt, but
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah. No, like I felt bad because I remember us going through it and thinking to myself, this would be like one of those like montages you'd see on like some sitcom or
On
some
like
comedy
a great 80s movie.
where like be like, well, what about skydiving, and show you skydiving, and then what about
you, like, trying
alligator
all these
wrestling,
things.
and and seeing you try all those things. I was just thinking about that in my head.
You were making a movie in your head about it.
Always.
Yeah.
But I remember us trying to go through it and try to find hobbies for you, and my problem isn't that. My problem is I've got so many hobbies, no time and money to do it.
Yeah, Dave does have like, you have way more hobbies than I do, or things that you'll just like,
I've
you'll
started
try.
a lot of hobbies.
But I
I've
think
ever
that's
finished
like
any.
cool too, that you're just like, you know what? I'm going to try this. Like, you're very quick to try new things, where I'm like a little bit more hesitant.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But only because, like, if you're not fully into it, then you wouldn't really, I don't know, you wouldn't enjoy it.
It's funny because we're talking about this and I'm like, I think Owen is maybe like, his personality is me.
We've had this conversation the other day,
Yeah.
I think it was, where
But
Owen
I
has
think
a
it's
lot
really
of your traits.
solidifying that like his personality is me, which
Is a sobering
yeah.
thought.
Yeah. Because with him, we're always like, he has to make the decision that he's going to do something or not do something.
Agreed.
So we've been trying to figure out, like, which will bring me into my next thing, like pacifiers, like when do we pull the plug or whatever. And it's like, well, he has to be like part of that conversation and bought into it, because otherwise it's just going to be a disaster. And that's totally me to like a T. Oh, it is a sobering thought.
He looks like me, but he's got your characteristics, personality.
The good and the bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay. It's okay. At least we know what to expect.
Yeah, right? There you go.
I know how to handle it.
Gosh.
Did I do that last one or did you?
I did.
Oh.
I think that's my last deep one.
You said that last time. You said the rest are not deep, and then you went
did.
like hardcore deep on that.
No, I don't think it was deeper than the obsessing over the schedule thing, but
I don't know. You were talking about like finding yourself and like losing yourself. It got pretty deep. I'm not gonna lie.
I did not think I was talking about that, but
I don't know.
maybe.
If you tell us in comments or write to us at spillproofpodcast@gmail. Tell us if you think that Becky's are deep or if they are just regular old comments.
I'm a deep thinker.
Apparently. Apparently deeper than me. Because my next thing was toy cars.
I love them and I hate them.
So, and you know, I am now just thinking about this, that a lot of what we have regrets about is kind of circling around Owen.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And I didn't realize that until this exact moment. And
I think we've just been more chill with M.
Him or M?
With M. Emmy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No. So I think you're right. And she is, they are very different personalities. Mm-hmm. She's very laid back unless you take food away from her.
Yeah, don't take the toy she's playing with away, and do not touch her food.
Gosh, I'm not like that, am I?
No.
Okay.
I'll eat your food and you're fine about it. I eat your food all the time and you just go with it.
Maybe she's stubborn and maybe that's in me. I don't know. But I just realized that these are circling around Owen, so I apologize, Emily. Actually, she's just so young right now that she kind of is she's got that go with the flow attitude.
I think maybe we also don't know the regrets we have with her yet.
No, we're currently making the mistakes. We're going to find out about them later.
Yeah, in 6 months we'll have another one of these, and these will be regrets for Emily.
Yeah, maybe we have to segment these regrets out here.
Yeah,
like we said, we're going to have a ton of regrets. But anyways, so, and I specifically remember the first car I got Owen. It was at Wegmans, and it was like a blue 1998 Hot Wheels Impreza. I remember it.
Jeez.
I specifically remember it. And he didn't care about it for the longest time. I would say he was maybe 8 months old.
Was he that young when you got it for him?
No, I'm saying when he started getting into cars. 8, 9 months. Maybe even, I know it was a year. It was over a year.
I think it was a year.
Yeah, it was a year. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he really started liking cars. And I...
It was pandemic.
It was pandemic.
Yeah.
We were playing with cars, whatever. Got him a little track, made it out of soffit material, and super cheap, $20 for 20 feet. It was great. And I don't know. I wanted him to like cars, and he was too young for them because I think they're like 3 and up. But
he's technically still too young for them.
Yeah, he's still technically too young for him, and he's got way too many. But somewhere along the way, and I always secretly kind of wanted him to be into cars, but not to the point where it was like debilitating. And that was always a fear. But I was thinking like, oh, when he's like 16, 17, he's going to try to get a sports car or something like that. We hit debilitating before 3 years old.
He's currently 2.5.
And he needs to take these everywhere. It's not always...
He has like probably 200 like Matchbox cars.
Wow, I'm surprised you said the number.
It's way too many.
Well,
I've started to hide them.
And not all of them are Matchbox cars. A lot of them are cars. So Pixar cars
the
with the
Pixar
eyes cars as he calls them. And
eyes
those
and no
ones,
eyes. That's what he
eyes
calls
and no
them.
eyes. He separates them out. But he has to like bring him to bed. He's got to bring him in the car. He's got to be surrounded by
I think that's what drives me the most crazy is like we'll want to go to like Target or the zoo or to visit his grandparents.
Yeah.
And
Quick trip.
he has to take as many cars as he can possibly fit in either our pockets or in a bin that he's found or in a backpack. And I've tried to say like, hey, bud, we can take 5. And then we'll like negotiate to 10.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm comfortable with 10. Great.
It goes to 20 and then
all of a sudden he's packed 26 into like his tiny Mickey backpack. And I'm like, we agreed on 10. And then he just won't go anywhere without them.
Yeah. And it's not like a security thing by any means. He just wants them around. I don't understand it. I really don't. Everywhere we go, both grandparents' house, they have cars to play with.
Maybe we're enabling a little bit, probably.
Well, so we started using them as rewards for good behavior.
Or like we tried to use them for potty training.
Which just got out of hand way too fast.
Yeah, like we would use the 99-cent ones, but then like he would realize that, oh, if I just want a new car, I'll go potty, but he wasn't actually like learning long term to go pee-pee on the potty.
Correct. And then we went through this very long, extensive process where he would take, because we'd buy them in groups, and he would line them all up, look at them all, think about it, pick one, put them all back, and do it all over again.
Yeah, this is when he like earned a car.
What was interesting is that through that we found 2 things out with that. One, he had at that point developed, I don't know if you call it regret or loss, or because he would choose one and then all of a sudden he'd get really sad. This wasn't
like
all the time.
FOMO over cars.
But he would, you could see it on his face, and you'd ask him, and he'd be like, buddy, did you not want this one? And then we'd start the process over again. But where we got him to at a certain point, and I think this was a big thing. We haven't done it in a while. But we got him to pick his top 3, put the other ones away, and then decide down from there, like those 3, out of those 3, which one would work or which one he wanted. And it helped him to kind of figure out how to decide or make choices. And I think he still uses that today. Maybe not as much or willingly or know that he's doing it, but I swear I've seen him do it a couple of times with things.
I don't know. I just know we no longer use cars as a treat for anything, really.
No. Huge regret on that.
Huge regret using
Huge
those.
regret.
It's like, hey, buddy, if you go pee pee on the potty, you'll get a new car. We use like M&Ms now, but even
that's getting out of hand.
even that, because he'll try to, again, bargain how many he's going to get. Like, we've been very clear, like, you get this many M&Ms if you go pee pee on the potty. And he'll be like,
he starts out with all the colors. I want all the colors.
all the colors. And then he'll quickly go to whole thing. And we have like a family size bag. So he's not going to get the whole thing. And then, I don't know. Yeah. Potty training, man. We could have a whole podcast about our potty training failures. Our 3-4 months of potty training
all failures. All failures. We'll get there.
We'll get there. But yeah, we cars. I think we would have handled our eyes cars and our no eyes cars differently had we known where we'd be today.
Yeah, we definitely would do that.
Okay, the next one I have is not taking the next one I have is not taking as many family photos. We forget to take pictures as a family, or even like just me with the kids, or just you with the kids, or both kids together all the time.
On its rare occasion.
Like, we have pictures of like them separately,
and
occasionally a picture with one of us with them, but we don't have enough of like us as a family or like interacting as a family, and it bothers me. Not very deep, but it bothers me.
Well, then we pay to have them done, and then we never hang them up.
I know, we do. We will pay to have like
family photos
taken, and they're great, but then, you know, we never get them printed out, or there's some sitting in the, I was gonna say, it's not really our dining room anymore.
It's your office.
It's my office.
Yeah.
But we have them sitting in there, but now, like, in frames, but there's no Emily in those. And since then, we've taken some family photos with Emily, but we haven't gotten them printed out yet. So, yeah, I wish we had our family pictures that we have up and just take more together.
Yeah. The problem with taking them together is someone has to be there to take them.
Yeah. But even like, I feel like I have pictures of you on my phone of like you and the kids every once in a while.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like I have a ton of like me and the kids.
Well, they're probably on my phone.
True. But like, I don't know. Even like when we go to the zoo, we don't really like, we're not like, oh, hey, let's just take a quick picture, everyone.
No, you're right. You're right. We certainly can try to do more of that.
Yeah.
I know we were trying to get more videos like we did with the 4th of July. That video was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was good.
But no, you're right. We used to take so many pictures with us, them, and I was actually thinking about that the other day when I was going through looking for pictures for our last podcast we did, which I don't think is out yet.
No, not yet.
But we were scrolling through pictures trying to jog my memory of like what happened based on looking at old photos. And I was realizing that looking back at the top ones, I've got like 5 from this month, which is like crazy. We used to take photos all the time.
Yeah.
Like we had to make file photos, like giant folders in our Google Drive to
drop photos in. Yeah.
Yeah. And that just isn't the case anymore. And I don't know what happened. I don't know. Part of me is like, it's because everything's so stressful. You're rushing from one place to another. So it's just hard to kind of remember to do that, or they just won't stop moving. So every picture's blurry.
Your picture is kind of blurry right now.
But I agree with you 100%. 100%.
What's your next one?
So my next one is snacking in between meals. Drives me a little nuts.
Really?
Yeah, and this doesn't include Emily because she is one of the best eaters in the entire world.
She loves her meals.
Even more than he was when he was her age. And right now he's going through a phase. Well, I say that, but tonight he had like a fistful of broccoli, a bunch of chicken.
He literally ate from like 5:30 to 7 nonstop. Like, but dinner.
Yeah,
Like,
it was dinner. It wasn't
was dinner
snacking
the whole time.
And there was like eating on he was all over the house, table, floor, just everywhere.
Which is probably part of our problem, but
it might be. But he fights the high chair, he fights the booster.
Yeah, he hasn't sat in the booster in about 2 weeks. He's just been sitting in a regular
Don't
chair.
need that. But
Dave says that because I'm going through the house right now and trying to get rid of stuff we're not going to need in the future.
Trying to declutter a little bit.
Yeah.
Gain some of our house back from all the toys.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he has gotten in the habit of, and one of the things that we decided early on is that we weren't going to be the parents who say you have to clean your plate.
Yeah.
That isn't healthy. It's not good. We want them to eat until they're full. And it always has not been an issue up until recently.
Mm-hmm.
And now what he seems to do is graze throughout the day, at least when he's home. Daycare, I think he eats most of his meals. But
yeah,
when he's at home, he'll graze and have like an applesauce packet or a piece of cheese.
Like an apple.
Apple. He eats a whole apple. It's crazy.
And like most of his snacks are fairly healthy. There'll be the occasional unhealthy snack. But then when we get to mealtime,
I would say the majority, if not all of his snacks are healthy snacks.
But then
fresh fruit,
blueberries.
like
fruit. He loves fruit.
Olives every once in a while. I'd say they're not super healthy.
Yeah, but he doesn't really eat those often.
Oh, he loves them though.
He does love olives. But yeah, then we'll get to mealtime and he's like not hungry because he's grazed through the day.
And that's where most of the nutrient stuff is, like the vegetable. We do a lot of clean cooking, clean eating. So like
mostly because I can't cook. So it's like
switching to work from home like soon will help.
Regular,
everybody.
Like when I say regular chicken, I mean like
plain chicken breast.
It's plain chicken breast with nothing on it, and rice, and
cooked
like
in the oven,
peas,
overcooked, a little dry,
and like carrots, and that's dinner.
But here's the thing: it's non-fatty white meat, vegetables. It's always healthy stuff.
Yeah, it's
broccoli,
typically like a lean meat. I
was so proud of him.
Broccoli the other day.
So proud of him for eating raw broccoli the other day. He took one little and then two really big like stalks of broccoli and ate most of the top of all of them.
Yeah, he didn't like the stalk part, but like the top
Who
of
does?
it
Who
he
likes
ate.
the stalk
I know,
part?
right?
It's nasty.
But we were really proud of him, so we let him know we were super proud of him, and we were like, "That's really great. You're gonna grow big and strong now."
Because like normally he has it in one of those like Green Giant
with
packets
some cheese
with
on
cheese
it.
on it. Yeah, which I think everybody has, and everything's better with cheese. But
but he ate it. He did. I think he put a little bit of my Southwest Ranch on it. But hey, he ate raw broccoli, so if there's a little bit of Southwest Ranch on the top, I'll take it.
Still a win. It wasn't dunked in it. It was just
it was just
lightly on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He eats. Even his snacks are very healthy. Yogurts, berries. It's not bad. He actually does not like sweets.
Mm-mm.
He's not a big sweet eater, chocolates, but he'll love mango. Mango's like a really big thing. Apples.
We have like frozen mango that he'll eat,
tangerines,
or I'll like heat it up in the
mandarin oranges.
Yeah.
So it's not that it's the quality of what he is eating. It's the frequency in which he eats it, because he's not getting a full meal. So it's really hard to track what he's eaten and if he's getting enough food throughout the day. He always is, because if he's hungry, he either asks or literally just walks into the fridge and grabs something.
Yeah. It's funny, I don't stress about his snacking.
No?
No. Because I feel like he just tells me when he's hungry, and then we go find a healthy snack.
Yeah, I mean, I think the most unhealthy thing we have in the house are the M&Ms that are for potty training, and he only gets those when he goes to the bathroom.
It's probably been like worse for you and I to have those in the house.
Oh yeah, because we constantly walk by and like grab a handful.
Oh yeah. And then Owen's like, where did they all go? Like, Mommy and Daddy ate them.
We go to the potty.
Yeah.
We deserve them.
Right? We deserve them after a long day at work. Okay, I have 2 more.
I have no more.
All right. So
I think you mentioned one.
I did. I mentioned passies.
Yep.
Only like, I don't think passies in general are a bad thing, but I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel with either of our kids.
Well, you saw it today.
Yeah, okay. So
mind blown today.
So Owen like went through a phase probably, I want to say between like 10 months and like 15 months where he just had his passy all the time. And I think part of it was like at 13 months we went into pandemic and like things were just crazy, but he just like really wanted it all the time. He also like, we have this little gravelly area in our backyard where there's like these little stones, and so he would try to eat them and put them in his mouth.
And they were a serious choking hazard.
Yeah, and so we would like, for a while when we were outside, we were like, here, have a passy, because then you won't put these stones in your mouth that he regularly put in his mouth. So I think like it was kind of our bad because we like enforced the passy.
Yeah.
And so now he's like 2.5, and he really only has a passy at nap time, at bedtime, and he doesn't have it in all night. Like usually he uses it to fall asleep and then it falls out, and then, you know, if he'll
we switched to ones that don't stay in his mouth.
Yeah.
The other ones they had would cup his mouth and they would stay
would just stay there. Yeah. And like Emily, I think she'll actually right now be easier to wean off of it. I really only like let her use the passy at nap times and bedtime. And she will, like, she'll search for it in the middle of the night if she wakes up and needs it. But I don't know, for whatever reason, I feel like it will be easier to wean her. Like I said, she's a little bit more laid back, and like she will, like, I think there's been a couple nights where like her passies have fallen out and she has gone through most of the night without it.
I think she cares about her lovey more.
Yeah, she likes her
Owen does
lovey
too.
way more.
It's a routine at this point for him.
Yeah. So
he loves his
for
routines.
Owen, like, I have tried like, oh, today let's try to not use the passy for nap, or like let's just really hug our mochis, which are his lovies, or like I'll try to distract him or something. But he at home, he pretty much like always needs a passy or pacifier at nap time and then bedtime. I haven't even tried at bedtime to broach the subject with him, but nap time I have. And one time I tried,
it's part of the routine,
to take it out, to like not give it to him, and he just cried himself to sleep. But
so
today
sad.
I picked him up at daycare, and so like our daycare previously, we were the teachers were coming and getting them at the front door, so we weren't going in the building, just COVID regulations and stuff. But recently we've been able to go back inside the building. So I picked him up today and was actually like talking with his teacher, which was really nice, and just like learning more about his day and things that like have been going really well, things he's working on, all that good stuff. And they were like, yeah, today he kept asking for his passy at nap time. And I was like, oh, okay. They were like, yeah, so that was like really out of the norm for him. I was like, what do you mean that was out of the norm for him? Because we typically send him with one every day that he goes to daycare, which is only 2 days right now. They're like, oh, he hasn't used a pacifier at nap time in like months. I was like, oh, interesting, because every day it's nap time at our house and he's like, passy, passy, passy.
Well, and they have cameras in there too, and I feel like there was a time a month ago or so where you're like, I don't think he's got a passy, and I go, I think it's in there. It's got to be in there.
Yeah, you were like, you, it's just the camera, like you can't see it. And I was
they're low-res cameras.
Yeah, but apparently he doesn't use pacifier at nap time, and I'm like,
mind blown.
Yeah, I'm like, well, so like I feel a little bit of a light at the end of the tunnel, but
we just got to start on our
end.
I
think like we probably could have started earlier to start weaning, because I feel like, you know, it's just,
I agree with that.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
The other thing kind of relates to that is, and again, it's another Owen one, which I do think we've been a little bit more like let's just go with the flow with Em.
Yeah.
But she's not even a year old yet, so I think maybe we just don't know what regrets we have yet.
Like I said, we're making the regrets as we talk.
Yeah.
We're making regrets.
But with Owen, and this was purely due to pandemic. He always napped very good in his bedroom before pandemic.
Yeah.
Once pandemic hit and Dave and I were both working from home, he would hear us downstairs, so he wouldn't nap. He'd be like, why am I going to nap if you guys are here? I'm going to hang out with you. And so like after a while, he gave up naps in his bedroom. He would just refuse or would just scream
and cry.
Yeah. And so we ended up like, eventually he ended up napping on the couch. But before that, we would create a nap pod for him, which was basically like a nest of blankets and like a maternity. We actually still use the maternity pillow that keeps him from rolling off the couch. But yeah, he takes a nap with a maternity pillow every day. But like Dave would basically make it with mats and pillows and blankets, and he would sleep in the nap pod in the family room. And this was around like 14 months for him. And since then, he has not taken a nap in his crib.
No.
He sleeps fine in it, but he will not nap in his crib. And I regret not reinforcing naps in the crib because it's just like, it's not like he naps fine. Like some days he'll nap for like 2-3 hours and some days they're really short, but like we can't really get as much done around the house while he's napping.
You got to be quiet.
Yeah, because he's on the first floor. So
I do regret that. I really do regret that.
Yeah,
I didn't
that's
even
a
think
good
about
one,
that.
right?
That is a good one.
That's a good one.
That isn't deep, but it was.
It's not deep, but it's a good one.
Just relax. You
Get out of here.
Really patting yourself on the back on that one.
Yeah, because I thought of it. And
you did. You did think of it. You were 100% more prepared on this than I was. I was busy editing podcasts. Come on. But yeah, so the nap pod was basically like it basically was like a mid-shift beanbag chair is what it was.
Yeah.
With and then a blanket over it to kind of with a dip, and it looked like a nest. But he's always and we just found out Emily really likes nests.
Yeah. But I'm not going to let her nap down here.
No, there's not enough space on the couch. But no, we always made him during pandemic or when Owen was sick, and I don't know what happened. Like I think like he actually built one the other day, and Emily was really excited about it. So we built another one, and she rolled around in it and was giggling, and I remember back at the beginning of the pandemic when he used to do that and just loved, like, I think we made an obstacle course for him at one point. That was like a ball pit, pillow thing over the ottoman.
Yeah.
It was a whole thing.
Yeah, but she really did like that nest the other day. She was rolling all over it and she was so happy. It's basically just, when we say nest, it's pillows, blankets, anything squishy that we can find around the house goes into a big pile. And
it's basically just a pile of pillow and blankets that they roll around in.
Yeah, but I do regret just kind of giving up on that and having him sleep in the family room.
At this point,
naps.
I think we've committed to it till he stops taking naps.
Yeah, I think we tried maybe once or twice since then, and he won't do it.
No, we're screwed.
Yeah. We just can't. So now that Emmy's getting a little older, we just can't let her figure out that there's an option to sleep down here.
Yeah.
Because then we're doubly screwed.
Yeah. Maybe we'll like have it be the guest room, or I don't know, somewhere that isn't down here.
I mean, we should just keep it in her crib, like every other,
like everyone else who's
like
normal
every other
with kids.
child. Yeah. That's all my regrets so far. Like I said, we're probably making some as we speak with Emily,
and forgetting a ton.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that sums up most of them at this point.
Yeah.
Which isn't too bad. What is that? 8, 9?
I don't know.
Less than 10, maybe?
Maybe less than 10, or like around 10.
Yeah, we'll say around 10.
Around 10. That's not bad.
No. And most of them are, I think, a lot of people probably, minus the sleeping on the couch thing.
But maybe we're not alone in that.
Yeah. Any of your kids take naps on the couch only, write to us at spillproofpodcast@gmail. All right. Do you have any more?
No, that's all I got.
All right. Thanks for listening to the Spillproof Podcast. As always, reach out to us at spillproofpodcast@gmail.
We'd love to hear from you all, and we can't wait to talk with you next time.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.